start with breaking news in the search for the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Nancy Guthrie. An updated timeline from authorities provides a clearer picture of the moments before and after Nancy Guthrie's disappearance.
On a quiet night in Pima County, something strange happened that would send shockwaves across the internet and law enforcement alike. Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old grandmother, disappeared from her own home under circumstances that continue to baffle investigators. And now, many are asking whether the whole thing was staged. The timeline, the forensic evidence, and even the behavior of those closest to her all raise questions. If you stick around, we'll break down exactly what makes this case so puzzling. It all begins with a seemingly ordinary evening. Nancy followed her nightly routine, medication on the nightstand, phone charging, security system armed. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary. Yet, at 1:47 a.m., her doorbell camera suddenly shut off. Not a glitch, not a flicker, but a complete blackout. For weeks, this camera had shown nothing but quiet suburban stillness, the hum of the porch light, wind brushing hedges, an empty driveway. And then a figure appeared. Layered clothing, multiple gloves, a mask over a mask, slow, deliberate movements, almost as if performing for the lens.
40 minutes later, Nancy's pacemaker disconnected from her phone. 40 minutes inside her home, an eternity in an emergency. What exactly happened during that gap? Investigators are asking the same thing, and so is the public. Because that time, those missing 40 minutes, may hold the key to whether this was a real kidnapping or something far more calculated. Nancy's family has been front and center in this story. Her son-in-law, Tommaso Shin, was the last known person to see her alive. According to reports, he visited that evening without anything outwardly unusual. Yet, in the hours following Nancy's disappearance, authorities focused heavily on him. His home was searched twice, devices seized, and online speculation skyrocketed. Officially, he was cleared as a suspect, but many are left wondering, was that clearance genuine or a strategic move to shift attention elsewhere? Then there's the intruder caught on camera, or so it seemed. Observers have pointed out that the suspect's behavior doesn't match what you'd expect from a professional kidnapper. He moves deliberately, almost theatrically. At one point, he appears to adjust landscaping near the entryway, gardening in the middle of a high-stakes crime. His weapon isn't carried efficiently, but displayed, as if to be seen, as if performing for someone or something. Inside the home, forensic evidence adds more questions than answers. Blood was found, not enough to suggest a violent struggle, but enough to contradict the story of a smooth, controlled abduction. And the heart medication that kept Nancy alive left untouched on her nightstand. In a genuine ransom scenario, especially with someone of her age, preserving the victim's health is critical. Leaving her medication behind doesn't make sense. By 7 a.m., ransom demands appeared, not privately to the family, but publicly on news outlets and gossip platforms. Millions in Bitcoin requested, no proof of life attached, no controlled communication, just chaos. Real kidnappers operate quietly, using leverage carefully. Here, spectacle replaced strategy. When you start piecing it together, contradictions mount. 40 unexplained minutes, performative behavior on the camera, blood at the scene, medication untouched,
And public ransom demands without negotiation structure. Add to that a son-in-law heavily scrutinized and later cleared. Alone, each detail could be brushed off. Together, they create tension and a growing suspicion that this may not have been a conventional kidnapping at all. Some speculate it was staged, carefully planned to misdirect attention or create confusion. Others suggest it may have begun as a burglary that escalated unexpectedly. Either way, the inconsistencies are undeniable. Even the pacemaker data, showing a precise 40-minute window, raises eyebrows. 40 minutes is plenty of time for someone familiar with the house to manipulate the scene, plan evidence, or craft a narrative designed to deceive. Investigators have been methodical, working through layers of evidence, DNA samples, mixed profiles, a glove recovered miles from the house. Male DNA was present, but it didn't match the mixture found inside. If that glove belonged to the intruder, why the mismatch? If not, why was it there at all? Each piece adds friction to the professional abduction story. Public reaction has mirrored the confusion. Some believe the incident was a psychological operation, chaos as cover. Others think it was something simpler, a burglary gone wrong, followed by a hasty attempt at staging a kidnapping. Law enforcement hasn't confirmed either theory. The official narrative remains a missing person investigation, but the contradictions are impossible to ignore. Looking closer, the ransom demands themselves raise questions. The first demanded Bitcoin, broadcast publicly rather than quietly negotiated. Then a second demand appeared for a more obscure cryptocurrency, technical, harder to trace. Was this adaptation by a mastermind or improvisation by someone attempting to mimic a high-stakes crime? Either scenario points to a calculated or at least highly unusual approach. And yet, Nancy remains missing. Despite national headlines, social media speculation, and constant online debate, one fact remains: an 84-year-old woman is gone, and no verified proof of life exists. The staged kidnapping theory isn't just speculation, it's a lens through which many investigators and observers are trying to make sense of the anomalies. Even as authorities continue their work, the contradictions remain clear. Blood at the scene, untouched medication, an intruder whose behavior seems almost theatrical, a 40-minute timeline gap, and public ransom messages. These details alone don't rewrite the case, but together they make anyone following the story question the original narrative.
And beneath all the analysis, beneath the online chatter and news coverage, is a family left without answers. Whether this was a carefully staged abduction, a botched burglary, or something else entirely, the human element can't be overlooked. Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is more than a story of mystery. It's a reminder that behind every headline is a person, and every unresolved case carries real consequences. If you have thoughts about the contradictions in this case, keep them respectful and grounded in fact. And if you want to follow detailed breakdowns of ongoing investigations like this, subscribe and stay tuned. Some mysteries don't explode in the news, they unfold slowly, piece by piece, and the Nancy Guthrie case is far from over.